Okay, so we'll start with the review of some of the things we were working on last week. Nikki, are you on the call?
Yeah. So Eric, sorry, before you proceed, actually this review of last week's to do, usually it is referring to the call we had the previous week and the kind of the things that we agreed that will be done. So we actually go through the things. If you go to the previous week's wiki page, you will see we have 2 items, and then we just check if everything has been done or what is the stage. We just give the status of those. That's the idea.
Yeah, so I think it was myth and scrambled. So for myth, Alpha was to take a lead, but I know we're also to meet back on the same when he comes in this week. He has since promised that we might meet tomorrow and Friday, but all the same, Alpha can give some, maybe any update if there is something he has done in that direction.
Okay, we had a meeting with Chege on that, the CD4 panel. We reviewed all the files that had been provided. We identified a bit, what we would say, maybe the logic, what will be uploading, the columns that will be populated into the database, and we also mapped the concepts to the various columns. We also added on the one that had been provided, we added on 1 more column. We also agreed on the item that will be omitted, and also how we will probably decide on which patients goes to the RRQ and which patients goes to our production. So basically, like on highlights, any patient who has allocation 0 should go to the RRQ. A patient who does not have a valid AMPATH identifier should go to the RRQ. A patient who does not have we had 4 columns of results. If we have any blank in any of those data, then the patient should as well go to the RRQ. So I collected a number of rows from the various files to create a file that has a representation of what we will be using. So I have that file. I've created some documentation which I'll update on that ticket. So today in addition to that, we looked at the channels, we looked at the EID channel and tried to understand what can be done to get that results in. So basically, seemingly, it seems like mostly we would be replicating what the EID viral load has when you are creating the CD4 panel channel. Two things that we want to do with the Chege. I just wanted to understand how. We want to create a scheduler within EID that will populate the data related to CD4 panel to math. So once we have that directory and created into the inbox, then we can move on and create the channels and make the changes that will be required to add in the filters, whatever. We studied that with the Nikki. We went through that, and actually we understand a bit on what will be required for us to move forward. But I created a ticket on the same, but the ticket I didn't update it with everything because I was still gathering additional information from Chege. So that's why I created it, but when I created, I realized I did have some of the information, and I've just collected it. So I'll be updating that ticket accordingly.
Yeah, that is excellent, actually. Yeah, so I think last week I remember the agreement was to have an epic for this particular project, you can say, or sub project of the PCS and the labs. So the ticket, what is the ticket number?
I can't remember. It doesn't have a lot of information, but I know I
Okay.
created it.
All right.
So that is what I wanted to update it with the details that I've shared.
Yeah, actually, my interest here is not really the information that is on the ticket as much as it is about the way we are organizing the way we are doing things. So it's nice we can have a ticket, I think, but I was thinking if we go the epic way. Did you get the chance to go through the agile and the epics and the stories and the task? Do you get the chance to? I mean, do you have an understanding of the epics, the stories? When when we discuss about things like epics and the stories, it's nice if we actually have the same context of what we are talking about. Otherwise, back will say, okay, just create an epic, and I mean, we might have an idea of what an epic is as far as the stories are concerned, as long as the myth is and the legends and stuff like that. But do we have that understanding as far as the agile software development is concerned? Maybe we need to do some sort of session
Yeah,
on the same
but I
page
think
so
we
that,
need a session on that because we didn't take time to go through that.
yeah, well, so Alfio, basically, yeah, you have that ticket, but the idea, what you wanted is to have the epic. We want to manage stuff in agile way. We want to try to implement agile, and we hope everybody is on board. So an epic would describe the issue as in the big picture, like, okay, we want to have a channel that does 1, 2, 3, blah, blah, blah. And then we have stories like you can consider them as subtasks that will say, we need this feature, we need this to be accomplished, we need this. A story accomplish a certain goal, like you want to move data from the labs to Met server. So down there you can have subtasks. So that's what we wanted to have with that. And other than, okay, want to say something? Are you saying something?
No, I'm okay.
Yeah, okay. So other than that, I think those findings you have, the specification and stuff, you have to put them on the, Bark has actually created a wiki page specifically dedicated to EIB, what is the CD4 results. Yes, I'm not sure if you've got the chance to see that page. Have you seen that page?
Yeah, I saw the page actually does most of the information. So I was wondering what basically what additional. I just wanted to add what is missing there from that page. I looked at it and it has most of the information that I actually got when we were discussing.
Yeah, so that is high-level specification, which is okay. It can be on, or it should be on the wiki page, and all that other details you have should go there, so that we have the stuff there, and then you can have the epics, which is still, it is high level, and should be business oriented kind of a description of what you want to do. Then we can work together to have all those stories, and then we don't have to complicate things that much, but we need to at least put some effort to see that we're implementing this, and if it is productive, then we'll be in a position to know. Otherwise, if we keep mixing the way we're doing things, we might not be able to realize the benefits of the kind of methodologies we want to consume. So basically, on this, I just think the best way is to the two outcomes is just updating the wiki page that Bark created. I think you have seen it. That's good. And then we can go ahead and have the epic under PCS module and see how and then under that we can have stories and tasks, and then we can implement from there. We can easily keep track of things. That's how I think that's the thing we can get from this.
Okay.
So I think on the other agenda, we didn't do anything, and we'll still be waiting for.
No, actually we did do something. The other, it was about developer to estimate the time required to fix bugs. We did do the estimate. Right?
Bug Scrum and I'm looking at to-dos of last week.
Yeah.
I'm not sure we did anything on this.
We said the to-do. Okay, are we reading a different page? Because what I see here is developer to estimate, it should be developers actually, to estimate time required to fix bugs on that date, and we did that. Don't you remember we did that?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we did actually estimate the time. We just didn't, we didn't do the sprint preparation, and then we said, we didn't do that. The sprint is not, we don't have a sprint yet, but we did do the estimate on those tickets. Okay, so that one is done. We did it, and I think we deserve to congratulate ourselves. So congratulations to us. For that, at least we are one step ahead.
Okay, so I think the pending issues we have to, for us to plan the sprint, we'll have to wait for JJ for us to finish up that.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, so that the sprint planning, yeah, that is one of the things we decided after doing the estimation, which actually is surprisingly actually should be part of the sprint planning. I was looking at it in a different. It seems most teams they are doing those things together. Like the sprint planning involves sitting down with the product owner, estimating the time, and saying, and its priorities, and deciding all the things, and then say, okay, we're going to work. This sprint is going to be about these particular items. That is the whole process. Is they call it a sprint planning, and most teams are doing it that way. So probably if we are going to do it, we will have to do it the same way. Then maybe we might learn one thing or two and change depending on what we see are the most important things to do, the best way to do things.
So testing in Angular, I guess we are moving on the second agenda.
You are the chairman, Eric.
Yeah, we are moving on the second agenda, and Nikki, you are supposed to take us through agenda 2, right?
Yeah, right. Okay, so I'll just go through what I've done so far as far as testing is concerned. You've muted. Okay. So let me post a link to my GitHub account.
What is the expectation of this agenda?
They wanted us to go through testing during this time, just the first 30 minutes. So, do you think we should do it without JJ or just go on?
I don't know about others. What do they think? Alpha, what do you think? And Eric? Did I lose you guys? Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Yeah, I thought I lost you. Okay.
Okay, so basically what I said, I was on mute. The thing is, JJ raised the issue of testing during our discussion when we were going through Angular, and he wanted us to go through it together so that he could also learn from it, given that Nick has done more on the testing stuff than us. So it would be good for us to wait for him, for us to go through the tests.
Yeah, I agree actually. I think that's a good point. If we wanted to be part of this exercise, then it's better to do it just once than doing it for us and do it for him separately.
Hey, how are you? Sorry about that. Hey. Hi.
Nzuri. Karibu. So Willa back and JJ are here.
Yeah, I just heard Bark's voice.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. Sorry about that. Bye. I see. Should we steal one more chair?
Yeah, we can get one chair.
I'm expecting to see. I don't know. Maybe I should get projection. Yeah. Oh no, I wanted you guys to be able to use it. Yeah. Oh, there's a chair there. The official. Where's the, oh, there's the whiteboard. Where's the projectors? Ah! You have one. Yeah. Oh, the extension cord chair is in very good shape.
You guys actually are breaking up so badly.
Yes. Willa, can you hear about?
Yeah, I can hear you, but I can't hear. I think Bark was talking, or maybe just. Yeah.
Can you hear back?
No, Bark, I can't hear him. Labda amekula ugali mwingi sana.
Amesema hajakula ugali.
My Swahili teacher told me whenever I meet a new person, I should say, "Uno mochicho katibabu ninanuka." He's a good speaker. Yeah. Oh yes, he said that. I'm a very nice man.
Are you able to project?
You want to project using my machine?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
You should be able to. Willa, you can log to the GitHub account that Nikki shared, or I can share the screen with you. Which one do you prefer?
I think sharing the screen is much better.
Okay.
So Will, are you able to see the shared screen?
Yeah, I can see it.
All
I
right.
wish I was just there. It's so much easier.
Okay. So I'll just go through what I did. It's a learning process, so let's do it. Let's all do it together and share some ideas. Yeah. So for testing, the far of God is I've been able to test the controllers, and I've been able to test the services. So today I tried to test the.
So just as backgrounds, this is all Angular. Okay.
Yeah. So I tried to test just the login, authentication, user authentication. Sorry. So I'll just go through the code that I came up with. I should do this through.
So as the background, what are you using to do your tests?
So I'm using Jasmine to test. Yeah, Jasmine and Karma.
And what's Karma?
Karma is Jasmine is the how do I put it? Is the testing tool. You use Karma to configure Jasmine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Nikki,
Go ahead, Noah.
Yeah.
can I speak now?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Nikki, well, Jasmine is a testing tool. Is it like an Angular module, or what is it? Is it like a library, or what is it exactly?
Yeah, it's a library, and it provides you with the various methods on how to test. Yeah, just provides you with methods that you can use um, to do checks, to do matches, and all that.
And Karma is the
It's
test
like a
runner.
command line tool for configuring, executing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Karma, what is Karma doing?
Karma is just basically used to configure Jasmine. They work together.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's the one that runs the tests actually. That's true. Yeah. Okay, so this is just a simple login controller, and what it's basically doing is it takes the user credentials from the user and passes that to and tries to authenticate that through the authentication service. And if it's successful, what it does is it redirects the user to the page that requested the authentication. So what happens is that, let's say you want to try to access a page that requires authentication. So if you're not authenticated, you're redirected to the login page, and then after you authenticate yourself successfully, you're taken back to that page. So this tries to do that. So there's a login function that invokes the authenticate user in the service, and it passes the username and the password to that service and the callbacks on successful validation and on failed validation. Okay.
Sam, do you want to mute your sound? I think somebody's computer I can hear the. Oh,
Yes, turn it off. Yes, lock him out.
All right. So let's see how to test this simple controller. All right. Okay. Yeah. So I'll just go through the code here and try to explain what is basically happening. Okay, so all your test statements, your test methods, all of them should go in a describe statement. Just the way Jasmine does testing. So this is how will I put it? Tests that are related go under one describe block. Yeah, so you have the title of the describe block and your tests go in here. So when we are testing a controller, basically we want to test the controller in isolation. We want to feed it with some mock data and make sure that it manipulates that data correctly, the states are transitioned correctly, and just we want to see the behavior of the controller, and it must be as expected. So a controller usually has dependencies. Every controller resides in a module, and in this case, the authentication controller resides in the authentication. So before each statements are used to just inject dependencies, reinitialize, yeah. So basically what is happening in line 8 and 9 is that I'm loading the authentication module and also the main app module, which is OpenMRS AngularJS app.
So it will load those before each individual test? Is that...
Yeah, exactly. That's what will happen.
Is this similar to other tests? Is this concept similar?
You mean in terms of like
just like these are the things that you do, you load dependencies?
Yeah, I mean the typical like Mockito or something, you know, that mocking kind of approach is to load up all your dependencies, often with mocks of what services or things that you would use.
Okay.
So the next is that you do a fair amount of like early setup to create the environment. The advantages is that then when you do the test, it's focused purely on the code that's being tested and not going to databases and doing a bunch of other stuff.
Okay.
Although to the extent you can, it's nice when some of this becomes cookie cutter in terms of like if you're testing a set of applications and you find that setting the dependencies, you're always doing it this way, and pretty soon you wake up in the middle of the night and realize you've written 5 tests in your sleep because you're so used to typing that code. That's where it's good to start, looking at automation or making a class that you can call just a utility class that that does that setup. Yeah, you say, give a couple specific, configuration things, and it goes and sets it up.
So you could imagine using like importing like all of, like, we have a generic environment to test patient dashboards or something like that.
Yeah, I think you kind of build those as you say. Like in the OpenOS world, we were doing a lot, and actually it was hard to get people to do testing because there was all this kind of upfront configuration, and we ended up creating a base class to do a lot of the cookie cutter stuff, and then made we actually hired some. We just put a bid out, and someone did it as a mercenary came along and coded a unit test tool so that you could right click and say, I want to create my test for this class, and it would do all the cookie.
Willa, can you hear us okay?
I can hear you. Not so okay, but yeah, I can get what you're saying.
Okay, so what
basically,
happened?
Nikki, sorry, before we proceed. So basically, Jonathan, I think your concern is refactoring this code such that you have the common stuff somewhere. Is that what you are getting at?
Yeah, I'm really just learning right now. I'm just trying to figure out, as we go forward and we start doing a lot more testing, right? That we make it as easy as possible to have testing environments that you don't have to create every single time you want to create a test for whatever it is that you're testing. It may end up not making a difference if our codes are small, pieces of code are small enough that, and our tests are small enough that you can just easily do it each time. But I'm just trying to understand, basically.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah. Basically, at this stage, when you load the modules, it will try to the dependencies that are required by that module. If there's the mocks, if there are mock versions existing, they're the ones that will be used at this level. So, for instance, if we have a locator resource that has a mock version of it, that's what will be loaded in the modules. Yeah.
Where do you define the mocks?
Some of them are defined by Jasmine. Yeah, but some of them, especially for third parties, libraries, you have to do it yourself.
Is there a standard place to put the code for mocks then when you put it into the tests themselves?
Yeah, there's a folder structure. Yeah, there's a standard place to put the mocks. Yeah. Okay, so in line 12, I'm initializing a test state. Basically, this is
Nikki, sorry, can I just say something?
Yeah.
So you see, because most of us here are new with the Angular and maybe the test-driven development, I think it is best if you treat us like newbies. So you make it kind of a tutorial, like I did this, then I got this step, then to that step, so that when this is done, I can just sit down and write my test right away.
Okay.
Yeah, if that's possible, it would be very nice.
All right. So okay, let me just go through what I did. So I needed to know what I need to test for to ensure that this authentication controller is testable. So one of the functionality is to redirect a user to a page after a successful authentication. So I needed to have such a page or such a URL so that after a successful authentication, I need a way to verify that indeed the user has been redirected to that page. So that was one of them. The second one was to check whether if the authentication service does not validate that user. If I needed to verify that this controller was displaying that message to the user. So that is the second test that I came up with. And then the other tests were to verify that the credentials, the error message variables were initialized, because the view needs them, because they're bound to the view binds to the credentials and also the error message. So I'll just go to straight away to I'll show you where I'm doing that. So the first test is at line 39, and you can just read it like it should attach credentials to the scope and initialize it. Okay.
Willa, we are still learning this, but just something that just before he goes to the test, there's something that I would want him to talk about. Starting from line 27, something important there that comes in when you want to do your mocks. Maybe you can just talk about that.
Okay, yeah. So like I said, before you do your mocks, before you do your, I mean, before you test your controller, you need to inject mocks to it. So at line 27, that's what is happening. So we're injecting, at this point, we're actually initializing the controller, and that's happening at line 31. Yeah, so there's a service to do that, and it's the controller that will actually initialize the controller that you want to test for you. So inside that block, I'm actually passing in the dependencies, and that one of them is the scope, and then there's the authentication service. In this case, I'm not using the real service. I'm passing in the mock of that service, and I'll show you where that service mock is. And then there's the state, which is another service to actually perform routing. Routing is just redirecting, changing the current location
Hello? Hello? Hello?